Yo, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? We're back today with a brand new video, and as you know, Chris Paul has been traded to the Phoenix Suns, and everyone's doing a rebuild of the Suns, so I figured let's switch it up and try to get this OKC Thunder team over the hump. Obviously, they have a great young piece in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they acquired some stuff, so we're going to go ahead and do this trade. Ricky Rubio, I don't really love his contract, so we were able to bundle him and a second-round pick to get the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft. And of course, that Danny Green trade where they traded away Dennis Schroeder, that as well, I don't like this Danny Green contract. Even though it's only one more year, I don't want to be paying him $15 million for that 1 year when we can go out and actually get someone that will help us out a little bit more with that. So I would be willing to trade him for a pick here. And I think that's what we're going to do, just give him up for a future first and kind of get that salary dump out of the picture. So we are going to send him over to the Pelicans here in a Danny Green straight for a 2021 first type of trade. Hopping into the draft, we ended up taking Anthony Edwards at pick 10, and to my surprise, Kira Lewis falls to pick 25. I'm very, very happy about that. He's a guy I really like. We bring back Gallinari and Steven Adams for sign-in trades because that's the way we can get the most out of this whole situation. If we let them both walk, we won't be able to get as much value. So I'm looking at the trade finder for Steven Adams here and seeing just what's available. I see Andrew Wiggins, not crazy about bringing him in. D'Angelo Russell, that's a pretty good one, but we add our rookie Tyler Bay. Looking through some of these, I got to look for something I really like. DeAndre Ayton's not bad, and I really like this one. Get Adams and Gallinari out of here and add Pascal Siakam. Obviously can be a huge help. Now we'll go out in free agency, offer both OG Anunoby and Rudy Gobert. We do end up grabbing Rudy Gobert, and of course we don't have enough for OG at that point, but hey man, this roster is really starting to come together. I'm really liking it. I'm not going to show every little guy that we grab, but here we are at the beginning of the season. You see Pascal Siakam, of course. Cole Anthony is actually starting at the point for us. And Kira Lewis, I'm going to go ahead and put into the G League for year one, as he's only a 72 here, but I think it can really help his progression going forward. You see we have a lot of pretty decent pieces here. We have Jeff Teague as well, KCP, some good bench pieces to go along with this starting five that's already pretty good in my opinion. I'll show you that kind of one more time because maybe you didn't get to fully see it. We are going to have Kelly Oubre starting at the 3 as well, of course. Darius Baisley chilling at a 72 overall. So that's what we're looking like right there as far as our starting 5. And I think we're working with about a 4-star system proficiency, if I'm correct, and 3.5. So let's get into it. So you can actually look at the G League stats right now, which I found very interesting. I did not know you could do that even in the slightest. So kind of interested to see where Kira Lewis is falling here. And let's go check that out. So he's coming in at number 15 overall in scoring, not bad, 16.7 points per game, pretty good. And to take a look at the awards, you can see Luka gets himself an MVP season yet again. And looking at some of these All-NBA teams, Pascal Siakam does indeed end up making the All-NBA team. To my surprise, this team actually misses playoffs here for us in year one, which is a huge disappointment because obviously they were able to be a playoff team with Chris Paul, of course. But I want to give this team one more year because obviously we have some young players we are very much depending on here in Cole Anthony to he was our starting point guard this year, so we're going to give it at least one more year to try and win a championship here. Even though it's a speed rebuild, we need one more year. So 76ers here, as you can see, they do end up winning the NBA championship. Joel Embiid getting MVP, of course. We do actually have still good trade assets here from all these years of piling them up. We have the 5th overall pick in this year's draft, so definitely can get ourselves another pretty good piece here. And I'm looking at kind of like a wing, and it's probably going to end up being Jonathan Kuminga because right now we're rolling with Kelly Oubre, and I'm not really huge on probably having him as our starting small forward going forward personally. Our next pick, I guess we'll take Makor Maker and see if maybe he pans out to be anything. We obviously have a lot of end of first round picks there. You saw we had like 3 picks between like 17 and 24. But here we are. Rudy Gobert, in all honesty, kind of underperformed for us, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can maybe make a trade for him that makes sense. I want to get someone maybe that makes a little bit less and is a little bit younger. Daniel Gafford, maybe. Goga, I think we might go with the Goga trade, in all honesty, because I'm getting a first out of it as well. We're going down a couple overall points to about like an 80, but his contract is less, and it will allow us to get more depth on the team in this upcoming year. So I think that's honestly what I'm going to end up doing here. We're going to ship Rudy Gobert for Goga and a first-round pick, which is not the worst thing of all time. I just want to get some better players on this team to kind of build around. And I'm seeing who we could possibly get. We really need someone that can play that small forward position to take that place of Kelly Oubre, of course, who I'm not really big on trying to bring back. And got to give Shea a huge deal, of course, because he's kind of the center point of this team at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and look, and the guys we can afford, it looks like Playoff P, Paul George, of course, is going to be like our best option, and we could just slide him up to the 3 if we end up getting him, which would obviously make the team a lot better in all honesty. So we're going to see if we can end up doing that, bring back Shea on a big deal, and get Paul George as well. And it's looking like that is going to work out. So I'm happy to say that we are going to be rocking out with Paul George and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. At the 1, we're going to have our young kind of tandem of guards of Kira Lewis and Cole Anthony. At the 4, we have Pascal and Goga at the 5. So I guess center is a little bit our weak point now, but in all honesty, Rudy Gobert was not giving us that much. That was really huge to me. So Kira Lewis now up to a 79 overall, a lot of progression from the G League, 88 overall Shea, 87 overall Paul George at that 3, 88 overall Pascal, and Goga chilling at an 80. Off the bench, you got Darius Bazley now up to an 81, 79 overall Cole Anthony, Kuminga 78, and Lou Dort kind of rounding out that lineup. And I'm very confident about this team, so let's get it. Giannis Antetokounmpo gets an MVP season here with the Spurs. And if you didn't peep, Cole Anthony actually did get 6th Man of the Year, which was kind of hype. Looking at the All-NBA teams here, we got some interesting things going on. Kira Lewis technically still a rookie, up to an 83 overall for the Thunder, of course, our squad. And looking at the All-NBA teams here, did we end up having anyone on it? I don't see that. 19.2 points per game for Pascal. Kira Lewis and Cole Anthony pretty much splitting time, pretty much putting up just about equal stats in all honesty, so it's definitely nice. Definitely nice that both of our first-round picks are panning out pretty well. I'm definitely interested to see how this year in the playoffs actually ends up going for us. You see what our rotations are looking like. It's looking like a very solid team with some very good depth on it in all honesty. And to look at the system proficiency, I think we're probably working with about a 4-star now, as we are perimeter-centric, of course. So we're going to hop into the first round here. The OKC Thunder up against the Mavs. That added another rookie there in Tyrell Terry, who's definitely a bucket. And they also have Julius Randle now and Fred VanVleet off the bench, Ricky Rubio off the bench. Definitely an interesting squad, but we end up taking them down pretty easily. 4-1, taking it in 5. Luka Doncic putting up 33 points, but of course it was not enough. Second round here up against that Phoenix Suns team that did do the trade for Chris Paul with us. And it's going to Game 7, and let's see what ends up happening here, boys. A big Game 7, so we hop into Simcast. And as you can see in Simcast, we end up taking it by about 14. Kira Lewis actually leading the team in scoring, doing his thing with 9 of 12 shooting, kind of calming the storm of DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker. Moving us into the Western Conference Finals here up against the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, you can never count out Ja Morant and the Grizzlies squad behind them, so this is going to be a tough Western Conference series here for us. But we end up taking it in 5, boys. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doing his thing, helping us out to kind of negate that play by Ja. Finals here up against last year's champions, the Philadelphia 76ers. They actually have Jabari Parker starting at power forward, which I find interesting. But let's see how this one ends up turning out. We are in a very close one here. We find ourselves up 3-2, and we hop into this bad boy with 14 seconds left. 123-106, and as you can see, we are just dribbling out the clock, boys. Our OKC Thunder are going to get a championship in year 2 of this rebuild, and honestly, it felt a little bit too easy for us here. So I'm going to try to see if we can go back-to-back and give it one more year to try and potentially get us a second championship in a row for the city of Oklahoma. So let's see how it ends up going. But of course, first we are going to check out this box score. Embiid dropping 27, and honestly, kind of spread out between all of our players there, doing their things and playing their roles in that final game. OKC Thunder, of course, taking it. And who ends up being our Finals MVP? Is it SGA or someone else? It's actually Paul George redeeming himself after obviously some bad play in the playoffs in this current season that just passed. So let's see if we can go back-to-back and make some moves. And of course, we still have these draft assets, so let's see what picks we actually have here and what we could do. So we have the number 6 pick here, and looking at the prospects, some pretty good ones. I just want to get us a big man in all honesty, so I'm going to reach a little bit and go get Jalen Durham. because we need someone to kind of back up Goga, as our center position is probably our weakest position. You can see Kira Lewis now up to an 85 overall, SGA up to an 89, PG coming down at an 85, 89 overall Spicy P, 81 overall Goga, and off the bench some really good, honestly, role players, an 84 overall Cole Anthony, 83 overall Kuminga. This team has definitely ability to go back-to-back with the amount of depth that we're working with. So let's see if we can do it, boys. Can we go back-to-back with his OKC Thunder team? So Luka Doncic ends up getting another MVP here. Cole Anthony, another Sixth Man of the Year. Alvin Gentry gets Coach of the Year. And let's check out these awards, see if any of our boys from OKC end up on these All-NBA teams. And I don't see anyone, so let's check out the standings real quick. We come in as the number 2 seed behind the Pelicans. The Pelicans having a really good season. Spicy P leading the team in scoring here. Lewis right behind him. SGA. Honestly, everything that you could kind of expect, in all honesty. Looking at our rotations, looking real solid heading into the playoffs. So I'm excited to see if this team could potentially go back-to-back and get the city of OKC another championship. Kira Lewis really progressing well. 22 years old now, 85 overall. SGA 89, of course, doing his thing. One-time NBA champion already at only 25 years old. PG bumped back up in overall, actually, so we'll take that. Still chilling at a 4-star system proficiency with that perimeter-centric, of course. First round of the playoffs, we find ourselves up against the Clippers, Cam Reddish, Chris Dunn, and we'll see what happens. We go to Game 7 with them, and after a hard-fought one, we actually do end up taking it, moving us into the second round up against the T-Wolves, who have our former boy, Dennis Schroeder. But we do end up taking it. Kira Lewis putting up 29 points and 17 assists in that game, moving us to the Western Conference Finals up against a super competitive Phoenix Suns team where we find ourselves up 2-1, but everything goes downhill beyond that. We end up taking the L there. A huge game there from DeAndre Ayton, putting up 19 points with 20 boards. So, of course, we're not going to go back-to-back, but at least we had a pretty solid rebuild here and made things pretty good. We won a championship and went back to the Western Conference Finals the year after, boys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smack the like button, of course. Subscribe if you are new. Let me know what type of videos you want down in the comment section below. We are going to start hitting some more career sims, so let me know who you want, of course, coming up soon. It's been your boy Bean. I appreciate you guys for watching. Peace out.